Hi! No, you're not watching Great British Bake Off. You are watching Dog-Eared Musings, and I'm Monika's hands. And today I'm making chai scones with a whipped cream inspired by R.F. Kuang's recently released novel, Babel. I was going to make clotted cream, but apparently it takes 3 days to make, so for all intents and purposes, I think whipped cream will work just as well. Babel centers on a young linguist named Robin Swift, who has recently been enrolled to Oxford's most prestigious language school. Violently taken from his home in Canton, China, and orphaned, Robin grows to find himself accidentally in a very pivotal role at the helm of a potential war, and must either give up the one place that makes him feel relatively safe, or stand up for what is right. Yes, it was dense, and there were times where I felt hit over the head about the subjects that Kuang covered, but ultimately I loved this book. It filled a void in my heart that I didn't realize I had. I loved it all. The anti-colonialist vibes, the deep dive into linguistics, the power of language, the found friendships, the betrayal, and the self-aware dark academia landscape it was set in. I was sucked in for the whole thing. I left the novel in the best way. Sad to have the world shut and closed, but also satisfied that it didn't go on for longer than necessary, which is hard for me to say whenever a book goes over 300 pages. So I wanted to take some time this week to really think about what it was about this novel that worked for me as a reader, and also take this as an opportunity to eat some scones, a snack that Robin and his friends eat throughout the book, but I'll take mine without sultanas, thank you very much. When I think about why I rooted for Kuang throughout all 560 pages, it was because Babel ultimately had me thinking about the sense of belonging that books can provide. Kuang uses common tropes, specifically dark academia and found family, to highlight the very real gaps and betrayals that marginalized readers may face in the stories we read. In thinking about dark academia and found family, school and the sanctuary it provides hits differently when the reader also must bear in mind class, race, gender, or sexuality. And I think reading Babel had me reflect on my own literary journey as a reader. As a teen, I remember gaining a sense of community based on the new worlds that authors create and the safety and adventure that comes from world building, which I've noticed differ from my tastes as an adult, where I find myself disillusioned or jaded, and specifically feel seen as a reader when authors highlight systemic issues that exist within the community that their characters are in. But what I found especially distinctive about Kuang's voice was the ability to combine both world building and cultural critique in a way that was especially nuanced. I keep saying that Babel was self-aware, and for me that means that it was refreshing in its validation of the reader's potential experiences without trying to come to a clear-cut solution. Kuang provides a mirror, but does not disrespect the reader's own experiences by naming a clear-cut exit strategy. What I loved about Babel was that this book does not romanticize these tropes, and if anything, Babel exposes the raw edges of them, while also fostering a very real portrayal of heartbreak, disappointment, and rejection, as well as a sense of hope, courage, and heroism. R.F. Kuang is a writer who makes me excited for future readers, but right now, I'm mostly excited to try this whipped cream. So with that said, I'm Monika's hands, you've been watching Dog-Eared Musings. Happy readings, and happy eatings.